The call came at 2:47 p.m. on a Tuesday that felt like the beginning of the end. Mr. Whitfield, this is Andra from the Grand Lexington. Just confirming, will you be joining your wife in the penthouse this evening, or should we prepare separate dining arrangements? My coffee cup stopped halfway to my mouth. What did you say? Your wife, sir, she checked in at noon, with her companion. They've requested room service for 2, but we wanted to confirm if you'd be. My wife is at a charity meeting. The words came out mechanical. Wrong. She has been there all afternoon. A pause. Then more carefully. Sir, Mrs. Whitfield is currently in penthouse suite 4700. She arrived at 11:52 a.m. with a gentleman. Dark suit, approximately 40 years old. They ordered champagne and I hung up. The Manhattan skyline blurred outside my 47th floor office window. Rain hammered the glass like accusations. I wasn't ready to hear. Marcus Whitfield. That is me. 45 years old. Built Whitfield Industries from a garage startup to $800 million in 12 years. Pitched to sharks who ate companies like mine for breakfast. Negotiated 9-figure deals without breaking a sweat. But right now, my hand was shaking so hard, I had to put down my phone. Because my wife Victoria had kissed my cheek this morning while I read the journal. Told me she'd be at the Children's Hope Foundation all day, donor meetings, the usual routine. Love you, don't work too hard. Her Chanel number. 5 still lingered in my memory. 15 years of marriage. Twin daughters. A life that photographed perfectly. So why was she in a penthouse suite with another man? I pulled up our family location app, the one Victoria insisted we install after the twins were born. For safety, she'd said. So we always know where everyone are. The blue dot showed her at home, our penthouse on 72nd and Park. But the Grand Lexington just told me she'd been in their suite since noon. Simono was lying. The app, the hotel, or Victoria. My phone buzzed. Tyler, my assistant, 24, New York U graduate, sharp enough to notice things other people missed. Mr. Whitfield, we have a problem. Not now, not today. What is it? I am at Russo's Steakhouse downtown, you know, where you have that standing Thursday reservation. I came early to confirm tonight's client setup, and sir, his voice dropped to almost a whisper. Mrs. Whitfield just left. 5 minutes ago. She was here with a man. The floor disappeared beneath me. What? One guy. Expensive suit. Mid-40s athletic build. They'd been here 2 hours. Private corner booth. The waiter showed me the receipt when I asked. $3,800. Charged to a credit card I've never seen before. My throat closed. What card? American Express Black, says V. Whitfield. But sir, it is not linked to any account I manage, and I manage all your corporate and personal cards. 2 sightings. 2 different stories. Both places she shouldn't be. Send me everything. Photos receipt now. Already sent. Check your phone. The image loaded. There it was. Dom Prenoon 2008. 2 filet mignons. Oysters Rockefeller, lobster bisque. Timestamp 12:15 p.m. to 2:41 p.m. The same window the Grand Lexington mentioned. But here is what made my blood freeze. The signature at the bottom. Victoria's signature. I'd seen it thousands of times. Birthday cards, mortgage papers, the girls' permission slips. Except this one was different. The V had a sharper angle. The tail of the curved longer than usual. Small things. Details you'd only catch after 15 years of looking at someone's handwriting. I grabbed my jacket. James, I hit the intercom for my driver. Car now? Don't ask questions. Then I texted Derek Morgan, my co-founder, Michigan T roommate. The only person in this city I could trust without reservation. 3 words: emergency office, immediately. Because if my life was unraveling, I needed someone who'd help me pull the thread. The Mercedes carved through midtown traffic like it knew this was life or death. James had been my driver for 8 years. He read the look on my face and didn't say a word. 22 minutes later, I walked into our conference room where Derek was already pacing. "Talk," he said, the second. The door closed. I told him everything, the hotel call, Tyler's sighting at Russo's, the location app, showing Victoria at home when she clearly wasn't, the credit card I'd never seen, the signature that wasn't quite right. Derek listened, his jaw tightening with each detail. When I finished, he sat heavily in one of the leather chairs. "Mark, I am going to say something, and I need you to hear me out." "Say it." "What if she is being framed? Identity theft, corporate espionage, someone targeting you through her." I'd thought about that in the car. Then why is she showing up at restaurants, at hotels with men? Could be a setup. Someone who looks like her. Professional con artists do this, target wealthy families. Clone identities, create confusion. You think someone cloned my wife. I think you are worth $200 million personally. The company's valued at $800 million. People have done crazier things for less money. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered on speaker. "Whitfield." "Mr. Whitfield." A woman's voice. Professional, cold as surgical steel. "My name is Agent Sarah Chen, FBI, Organized Crime Task Force. We need to meet. Today, this hour." Derek and I locked eyes. "How did you get this number?" "Mr. Whitfield, we've been investigating a sophisticated financial crime network for 16 months. Your wife's name has appeared in our investigation multiple times, in contexts that concern us deeply." The air left the room. "What contexts?" "Not over the phone. There is a black SUV outside your building, federal plates. My agents will bring you to our field office in Lower Manhattan. You can bring one person you trust." She paused. "But Mr. Whitfield, don't go home. Don't call your wife. Don't alert her that you know anything. If you do, people will die. Do you understand? My daughters are safe at Briarwood Academy. Until 6 p.m. We have plainclothes protection on them. They don't know, but they're covered. The FBI was watching my children without telling me. I am bringing Derek. Acceptable. The SUV is waiting. You have 10 minutes. The line went dead. Derek was already standing. "Well," he said, his voice steady despite everything. "Guess we're going to see the FBI." The FBI field office in Lower Manhattan was all concrete angles and reinforced steel. No windows, no warmth, just secrets and bad news. Agent Sarah Chen met us in a conference room on the 3rd floor. Mid-30s, Asian American with eyes that could dissect a lie in 3 seconds. With her was Agent Marcus Torres, Hispanic, built like he bench-pressed problems for fun. "Mr. Whitfield." "Mr. Morgan," Chen gestured to chairs. "We don't have time for pleasantries. So I'll be direct. Your wife has been having an affair with a man named Julian Cross. But that is not why we're talking to you." The word affair hit like a fist, but I forced myself to focus. "Then why?" Chen slid a tablet across the table. On it was a photo of Victoria, younger, maybe 8 years ago, standing next to a man in his 40s. Handsome, dangerous smile, dark suit that probably cost more than most people's cars. "Julian Cross," Chen said, "former hedge fund manager, current freelance corporate espionage specialist. He helps companies steal trade secrets, manipulate stock prices, and destroy competitors. He is very good, very expensive, and very careful. What does he have to do with Victoria? We believe she hired him." Torres leaned forward. 6 months ago, Someone opened multiple shadow accounts using your company's credentials. They've been siphoning money small amounts, $50,000 to $200,000 at a time into offshore LLCs. Total theft so far, $4.2 million. Derek went white. That is impossible. Our security is bypassed by someone with inside access. Chen interrupted. Someone who knows your passwords, your security protocols, your backup systems, someone like a spouse. I couldn't breathe. Victoria wouldn't. Mr. Whitfield. Chen's voice was gentle but firm. Victoria didn't just hire Julian Cross for corporate espionage. She has been having an affair with him for 7 months. We have surveillance photos, hotel records, text messages. And we believe the affair is part of the operation. She fell for him, and now she is helping him destroy your company. She pulled up more photos. Victoria and Julian, entering the Grand Lexington, sitting close at Russo's, his hand on her lower back. Her laughing at something he said. Each image was a knife. But why? My voice barely worked. We have money, more than we could ever need. Why would she do this? Chen pulled up another file. Victoria's maiden name was Hartley, correct? Yes, Victoria Hartley. Parents died when she was young. No siblings, no family. Wrong. Chen turned the tablet toward me. Her real name is Victoria Ashford, daughter of Robert Ashford, a pharmaceutical executive who went to prison 12 years ago for insider trading and fraud. He died in prison 5 years ago, but before he died, he told Victoria something. What? That you destroyed him. The room spun. What are you talking about? I've never heard of Robert Ashford. Derek's face had gone gray. Mark, Ashford Pharmaceuticals. 2012, we were contracted to audit their financial systems when we were just starting out. Remember, we found the fraud. We reported it to the CKE. The memory crashed back. Our first major client. We'd been brought in to modernize their payment processing. And we'd found evidence of massive fraud kickbacks, false billing, manipulated trials. We'd reported it because it was the right thing to do. Robert Ashford had gone to prison because of our report. His daughter, I whispered. Victoria is his daughter. Was, Chen corrected. She changed her name when she was 21. Right after her father was sentenced, she spent the next decade building a new identity. New background, new history, and then she met you. At a tech conference, I said, the pieces clicking together. 2010, she asked smart questions about payment processing. She seemed so interested in what we were building. She was interested, Torres said, because she was already planning this. She spent 3 years getting close to you. 3 years earning your trust. She married you, had children with you, all while waiting for the right moment to destroy everything you built, just like you destroyed her father. I couldn't speak, couldn't think. 15 years, our entire marriage, the girls, everything, a lie, a con, a revenge plot. The affair with Julian Cross, Chen continued, started 7 months ago. We believe Victoria hired him initially, but somewhere along the way, it became real. She fell for him. And now they're not just stealing from you. They're planning to frame you for the fraud. They're going to make it look like you've been embezzling from your own company. When it goes public, your reputation will be destroyed. Your company will collapse, and you'll likely face criminal charges. Derek found his voice. How do you know all this? We've been investigating Julian Cross for 2 years. We have wiretaps, surveillance, email intercepts. We know everything. Chen looked at me. Mr. Whitfield, we need your help. We're ready to take them down tomorrow night. But we need you to act normal. Go home, pretend you don't know. Give us 1 more day to gather the final evidence we need. You want me to go home to my wife, I said slowly. knowing she has been lying to me for 15 years, knowing she is planning to destroy me and act like everything is fine. Yes, what about my daughters? We'll arrange for them to stay with friends tonight. Victoria will receive a text about a school sleepover. They'll be safe, protected. I looked at Derek. What do you think? He was quiet for a long moment. Then, I think these people tried to destroy everything we built, everything you are, and I think we need to stop them, permanently. He was right. What do you need me to do? I asked Chen. She pulled out a device the size of a nickel. This is a listening device. Wear it under your collar. We'll hear everything. And if Victoria or Julian makes contact tonight, we'll know. What about tomorrow night? Tomorrow night, there is a charity gala at the Metropolitan Club. Victoria insisted you attend. We believe that is when they plan to execute the final phase. Julian Cross will be there. We'll have 50 agents in position. When they make their move, we take them down. And if something goes wrong tonight, Taurus tapped his earpiece. We'll be listening to every word. You say the code phrase, I need to call Derek, and we're through your door in 90 seconds. The device felt impossibly small in my hand. My entire life balanced on technology the size of a coin. One more thing, Chen said. We need definitive proof that Victoria is working with Julian. If you can get her to talk, to admit what she is doing, we'll have everything we need. How am I supposed to do that? You are a smart man, Mr. Whitfield. You'll figure it out. James drove me home at 5:30 p.m. The sun was setting over Manhattan, turning the sky the color of old bruises. The listening device was clipped to my collar under my shirt. My phone had been modified by the FBI to allow remote access to camera and microphone. I was wired, monitored, a puppet in my own life. When I walked into the penthouse, I found Victoria in the kitchen. She was making dinner ossobuco, my favorite, and the smell of garlic and wine filled the space. She was wearing jeans and a soft sweater, her hair down. She looked like my wife, but she wasn't not anymore. Hey, honey, she smiled when she saw me. You are home early, perfect timing. Dinner's almost ready. I walked over and kissed her cheek, searching her face for any sign of deception, any crack in the mask. There was nothing, just warmth and love and 15 years of practiced lies. Smells amazing, I said. Where are the girls? Oh, you didn't get the email. Emma's friend is having a birthday sleepover. Both girls were so excited. I said yes. I hope that is okay. The FBI had already arranged it. She was following their script without knowing it. Of course, they deserve fun. Which means she stepped closer, sliding her arms around my waist. We have the whole evening to ourselves. Just like when we first got married, every instinct screamed at me to push her away, to demand the truth, to end this nightmare. But I had a job to do. Let me change out of this suit, I said. Be right back. In our bedroom, I allowed myself 10 seconds to fall apart. Then I pulled myself together and texted Derek, I am in, standing by. His response was immediate. FBI is listening. We've got your back. Stay strong. 20 minutes later, we sat at our dining table, crystal glasses, gourmet food, candlelight. The perfect scene of a successful marriage built entirely on lies. So Victoria said, sipping wine, how was your day? Busy, the usual fires. I watched her carefully. How about you? How was the foundation meeting? A flicker, just a microsecond of hesitation. Oh, you know, same as always. Mrs. Patterson wants to redirect funds to a new program. We spent 2 hours debating budgets. She was good. Smooth. Believable. Sounds exhausting. It was. She reached across the table and took my hand. But I am glad to be home with you. Sometimes I feel like we don't spend enough time together anymore. The irony would have been funny if it didn't hurt so much. I was thinking, I said carefully, maybe we should take a vacation. Just the two of us. Get away for a while. Another flicker. That sounds wonderful. When were you thinking? Next week. Oh, Mark, I can't next week. The gala is tomorrow night. And then I have that foundation board retreat, and then, right, the gala. I studied her face. At the Metropolitan Club. Yes, it is black tie. You remember, right? I told you about it weeks ago. She hadn't. This was the first I'd heard of it. Of course, wouldn't miss it. Her phone buzzed on the table. She glanced at it, and for just a second, something changed in her expression. A softness, a warmth that she'd never shown me. She turned the phone face down. Just a spam call. But I'd seen the name on the screen, Julian with a heart emoji. My hands clenched under the table, but I kept my voice steady. Everything okay, perfect, she smiled. Everything's perfect. At 11 p.m., Victoria said she was going to bed early. Big day tomorrow with the gala. I'll be up in a bit, I said. Just need to finish some emails. She kissed my forehead and disappeared upstairs. I waited 20 minutes. Then I opened my laptop and did something I'd never done before. I accessed our home security system, the one with cameras in every common area, the one that backed up footage to the cloud. I scrolled back to this afternoon, 2 p.m., when Victoria was supposedly at the Children's Hope Foundation. The camera in our entryway showed her leaving at 11:30 a.m. wearing a black dress and heels. Full makeup, not charity meeting clothes. Date close. She didn't return until 4:15 p.m. Where had she been for nearly 5 hours? I checked her car's GPS history. Another thing I'd never done, didn't want to be that husband. That paranoid spouse who tracked his wife's every move. The GPS showed a trip from our building to the Grand Lexington Hotel. She'd stayed there from 11:47 a.m. to 3:52 p.m. 4 hours in a hotel with Julian Cross. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Stop looking. You'll only hurt yourself. A friend. I stared at the message. Then I called Derek. Someone just warned me to stop investigating, I said. The FBI. I don't think so. The tone was different, almost sympathetic. Mark, be careful. If Julian Cross knows you are suspicious, he doesn't. I've been perfect tonight, Academy Award performance. Still, watch your back. I hung up and sat in the dark living room, staring out at the Manhattan skyline. Somewhere out there, Julian Cross was planning his next move. Somewhere in this penthouse, my wife was sleeping peacefully, dreaming of a life without me. And somewhere in my chest, my heart was breaking into pieces I'd never be able to put back together. Tomorrow night at the gala. But before we get there, I need to know one thing. Did Victoria ever really love me? Even in the beginning? Or was every moment, every kiss, every laugh, every whispered, I love you, in the dark, just another move in a game I never knew I was playing? The FBI said they'd give me answers tomorrow. I am not sure I want them anymore. Because sometimes the truth doesn't set you free. Sometimes it just shows you how blind you've always been. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I sat in my home office with the door locked, going through 15 years of bank statements, credit card bills, travel records, looking for patterns I'd been too trusting to see before. And I found them small things at first. A $600 charge to a restaurant we'd never been to. She'd said it was a foundation lunch. A weekend trip to Boston visiting an old college friend. Flight records showing she'd actually gone to Miami. Then, bigger things. A safety deposit box opened 3 years ago. I'd never known about it. According to the bank records, she visited it every few months. Flight records showing she'd actually gone. And what was she keeping there? A storage unit rented under her maiden name Hartley, the one she'd supposedly left behind when her parents died. Credit cards I'd never seen. Bank accounts with my forged signature. The architecture of deception was breathtaking in its complexity. She'd been building this parallel life for years, maybe from the very beginning. At 6 a.m., my phone buzzed. "Agent Chen, did you get any confirmation last night? She has been lying about everything," I said. "I have proof going back years." "That helps us. Tonight at the gala, we need you to stay close to her. Julian Cross will make contact. When he does, we move in." "What is their endgame? What happens tonight?" "We believe they're planning to transfer the remaining accessible funds, approximately $12 million, during the gala. While you are in public, visible, with hundreds of witnesses proving you couldn't have made the transfer. Then they'll trigger the fraud investigation. By Monday morning, your company will be under federal scrutiny for embezzlement you didn't commit. And Victoria will play the shocked, betrayed wife. She'll claim you've been hiding money, having affairs, losing your mind. By the time the truth comes out, your reputation will be destroyed. Your company will collapse, and she'll walk away with millions. What about Julian? He disappears. New identity, new life, and Victoria joins him 6 months later after your amicable divorce, where she gets half of what is left. Perfect, elegant, cruel. "One question," I said. "The affair. Is it real, or is she just using him too?" Chen was quiet for a moment. "Our psychologist thinks it is real." She fell for him. This stopped being just revenge somewhere along the way. Now it is revenge and love, which makes her more dangerous, not less. More dangerous, because people in love take bigger risks. "I'll be ready tonight," I said. "Mr. Whitfield, be careful. Julian Cross has been connected to 3 suspicious deaths. Business partners who got in his way. We could never prove anything, but be careful." She hung up. 3 suspicious deaths. And my wife was in love with him. Victoria was cheerful at breakfast, almost giddy. "I am so excited for tonight," she said, pouring coffee. "It has been forever since we've done something glamorous together." "Yay," I said, forcing a smile. "Should be fun. I got you a new tuxedo, Tom Ford. It is in your closet. I think you'll love it." She'd bought me a tuxedo. For the night she was planning to destroy me. The attention to detail was almost admirable. "Thanks, honey." She came around the table and wrapped her arms around me from behind. "I love you, Mark. You know that, right?" The words were hollow, mechanical, but she'd said them so many times over 15 years that they came out smooth as silk. "I love you too." Lie for lie. Betrayal for betrayal. At noon, she left for the salon. Need to look perfect for tonight. The second she was gone, I called Derek. "Come over. Now we need to talk." Derek arrived 20 minutes later. I'd pulled out every piece of evidence I'd found, spread it across my dining room table like a crime scene. "Jesus Christ," he whispered, looking at the documents. "Mark, she has been planning this for years. Since before we met. Her father went to prison because of our audit. She has been waiting, building, preparing, and Julian Cross. The final piece, he is the weapon she needed to actually execute it." Derek sat down heavily. "What are you going to do?" "The FBI wants me to play along tonight. Let them take Julian and Victoria down at the gala." "But," I looked at my best friend, the man who'd been with me since MIT, who'd helped me build Whitfield Industries from nothing. "But I am not sure that is enough." "What do you mean?" "I mean the FBI will arrest them. There will be a trial. Maybe they get 10 years, maybe less with good behavior. And then what? They're out, still together. Still in love, living on money they stashed away, while I spend the rest of my life picking up the pieces. Derek's eyes widened. Mark, what are you thinking? I am thinking that if she has been playing the long game, maybe I should too. That is dangerous territory. She destroyed 15 years of my life. She used our children as props. She made me fall in love with someone who never existed. My voice was cold, steady. Dangerous is what she deserves. Derek studied me for a long moment. Tell me your plan. The Metropolitan Club glittered like a palace. Crystal chandeliers, champagne fountains, Manhattan's elite in designer everything. Old money, new money, dirty money, all of it mingling under the guise of charity. Victoria looked stunning. Emerald green dress, diamond earrings, I'd bought for our 10th anniversary. She took my arm as we walked in, playing the perfect wife. You look beautiful, I said. You are not so bad yourself. She smiled up at me. This is going to be a wonderful night. For one of us, I thought. The FBI had briefed me before we arrived. 50 agents scattered throughout the venue. Chen herself was working as a server. Torres was posing as a member of the club's security team. They had eyes everywhere. And somewhere in this crowd was Julian Cross. I need to use the restroom, Victoria said after we'd made the rounds. Be right back. I watched her walk away, her hips swaying in that dress, and wondered how many times she'd used bathroom breaks to call Julian, to coordinate, to whisper sweet lies while I stood oblivious nearby. She is heading to the East Wing. Chen's voice crackled in my hidden earpiece. Torres is following. Stay in the ballroom. I ordered a scotch at the bar and waited. 5 minutes later, Victoria returned. But something had changed. Her smile was tighter, more focused. Everything okay? I asked. Perfect. She took my arm again. Dance with me. We moved onto the floor. A string quartet played something classical and expensive. Her body pressed against mine, familiar after 15 years. But now it felt like dancing with a stranger. Mark, she said softly, her lips near my ear. I need to tell you something. My heart rate spiked. What? I've been thinking a lot about us lately. About our marriage, about what we've built together. Okay. And I realized something. She pulled back slightly to look in my eyes. I realized that I've taken you for granted. You've given me everything. This life, our children's stability. And I haven't always appreciated it. Was this real or another layer of manipulation? Victoria, let me finish. Her eyes were wet, genuine tears or performance tears. I couldn't tell anymore. I want to be better. I want us to be better. Starting tonight, I promise. No more taking you for granted. No more getting lost in charity work and forgetting what matters. You matter, Mark. You are everything. She was good. God, she was good. If I hadn't seen the hotel records, the secret accounts, the text messages from Julian, I would have believed every word. I appreciate that. There is something else. She took a breath. I know tonight is busy, but tomorrow, can we talk, really talk? About our future, of course. Because by tomorrow she'd be in federal custody, and our future would be very different than she imagined. The song ended. Victoria excused herself to chat with some of the other charity board members. I watched her work the room, charming everyone she met. Then I saw him, Julian Cross, mid-40s, tall dark hair with distinguished gray at the temples, expensive tuxedo that fit like it was grown on him. He stood near the bar, drink in hand, watching Victoria with an expression I recognized, the same way I used to look at her. Love, want, possession. Target acquired, Chen's voice said. Don't approach. Let him make the first move. But Julian didn't approach me. Instead, he caught Victoria's eye across the room. A look passed between them. Quick, intense, loaded with meaning. Then he walked toward the exit. Victoria made her excuses to the group she was talking to and headed for the bathroom again. "She is moving," Torres reported. Following Cross to the East Service hallway, "Mr. Whitfield, stay in the ballroom," Chen ordered. "We have agents in position. We'll get everything on recording." But something in my gut said this was wrong, said I needed to see this with my own eyes. I set down my drink and moved toward the east hallway. "Mr. Whitfield, stand down," Chen said sharply. I pulled out my earpiece and slipped it in my pocket. The service hallway was empty. Staff access only. I moved quietly, my dress shoes silent on the carpeted floor. Voices ahead. Victoria and Julian in a small alcove near the kitchen entrance. I pressed myself against the wall and listened. "Can't keep doing this," Victoria was saying. "Mark is getting suspicious. Then maybe it is time to accelerate." Julian's voice was smooth, confident. "We can trigger everything tonight. By Monday, it is done." Number, "Not yet. I need more time." "Time for what? You said you wanted out. You said you wanted to be with me." "I do, but it is complicated. The girls will be fine. They're 13, old enough to adjust." Victoria. "I love you, and I am tired of hiding. Tired of watching you go home to him every night." Silence, then Victoria's voice quieter. "I love you too, so much." "But Mark, he is not a bad person. He doesn't deserve what we're doing. He destroyed your father." "I know, and I've spent 15 years planning this revenge. But somewhere along the way, Julian, I don't know if I can go through with it anymore." My heart stopped. "What are you saying?" Julian's voice had gone cold. "I am saying maybe we should stop. Maybe we should just, I don't know, disappear together. Forget the money, forget the revenge, just leave." "Without the money," Julian laughed, harsh and bitter. "Victoria, sweetheart, let me explain something. I didn't spend 7 months pretending to be in love with you for nothing." The world tilted. "What?" Victoria's voice was small, broken. "You really thought this was real? You thought I fell for you? Jesus, you are even more naive than your husband." "Julian, don't. I was hired, Victoria. 6 months before we met. Hired by someone who wanted to see Marcus Whitfield destroyed. The affair, the romance, making you fall in love, that was all part of the job. Number, you are lying." "Am I?" "Think about it. How did we meet? A charity gala just like this one. I approached you. I asked about your necklace. I made you laugh. I made you feel seen. All according to plan. Who hired you?" Victoria's voice was shaking. "Who wants Mark destroyed? That is not your concern. Your concern is that you are in too deep now. You've committed multiple felonies. You've stolen $4.2 million. You've opened fraudulent accounts. And if you don't finish this job, you go to prison alone, while I disappear with the money. You bastard. Maybe, but I am a rich bastard. Now here is what is going to happen. You are going to go back out there. You are going to smile and charm and play the perfect wife. And at exactly 10 p.m., you are going to excuse yourself to the bathroom and trigger the final transfer from your phone. $12 million moves offshore. Then you are going to return to the ballroom and wait exactly 20 minutes. During those 20 minutes, I'll trigger the anonymous tip to the FBI. By 10:30, federal agents will be here asking Marcus very uncomfortable questions. His company will be under investigation by Monday, and by the time he clears his name, if he clears his name, Whitfield Industries will be worth nothing. And me, you play the shocked wife, file for divorce, take your half, and then you disappear alone. Because, sweetheart, this was never about you and me. It was always about destroying him. I heard the sound of heels, marble, Victoria running, Julian's footsteps following. Victoria, don't be stupid. You don't have a choice. Fuck you. Her voice echoed down the hallway. I'll tell Mark everything. I'll confess. I'll burn it all down before I let you. A sound. Flesh hitting flesh. Victoria's cry of pain. I came around the corner just in time to see Julian grab Victoria by the throat and slam her against the wall. You'll do exactly what I tell you, he hissed. Or your daughters have an unfortunate accident. Do you understand me? This isn't just about money anymore. This is about you doing your goddamn job. Let her go. My voice cut through the hallway like a blade. Julian spun, still holding Victoria. His eyes widened when he saw me. Mark, Victoria gasped. I said let her go. Julian smiled, cold, calculated. How much did you hear? Enough. He released Victoria, who slumped against the wall, gasping. Then he reached into his jacket. That is when FBI agents poured into the hallway from both ends. FBI hands where we can see them. Julian froze, his hand inside his jacket. Then slowly he pulled it out. Empty, smart choice, Agent Chen said, her gun trained on him. Julian Cross, you are under arrest for fraud, conspiracy, extortion, and about 15 other charges I am going to enjoy reading to you. As they cuffed him, Julian looked at me. This isn't over, Whitfield. You don't know who you are dealing with. Actually, I said, I think I do. They dragged him away. Victoria was still against the wall, crying, her mascara running in black rivers down her face. Mrs. Whitfield, Torres said, approaching with handcuffs. You need to come with us too. Wait. I stepped forward. Agent Chen, can I have a moment with my wife? Chen hesitated, then nodded. 2 minutes, we'll be right outside. The agents cleared the hallway, leaving us alone. Victoria looked at me with eyes full of tears and terror, and something that might have been regret. Mark, I stop. I held up my hand. I don't want to hear it. Not the apologies, not the excuses. I just want to know one thing, what? Was any of it real, in the beginning, when we first met? Before all of this, did you ever actually love me? She closed her eyes, tears streaming down her face. When she opened them again, they were full of a pain that looked genuine. Yes, she whispered. That is what made it so hard. I was supposed to hate you. You destroyed my father. You ruined my family. I spent 3 years planning how to meet you, how to make you fall in love with me, how to destroy everything you built. But then I got to know you, the real you, and you were nothing like I expected. You were kind and honest and passionate about building things instead of destroying them. You made me laugh. You made me feel safe, and somewhere between the lies I was telling and the life we were building, I fell in love with you. For real. So why didn't you stop? Why didn't you tell me the truth? Because I was scared. Scared you'd hate me. Scared I'd lose you and the girls. And scared of what my father's memory would mean if I let go of the revenge. She sobbed. So I did nothing. I just existed, trapped between 2 versions of myself. And then Julian came along, and he made me feel like I could be someone new. Someone who wasn't defined by my father, or my revenge, or my lies. But he was lying too. I know that now. She looked at me with broken eyes. Mark, I am so sorry. For everything. For every lie, every betrayal, every moment I wasn't the woman you deserved. I wanted to hate her, God. I wanted to hate her so much. But standing there, looking at her destroyed face, I just felt empty. I don't forgive you, I said quietly. I don't know if I ever will, but Victoria, or whoever you really are, I am sorry too. For what? For not seeing you. For being so focused on building my empire that I didn't notice my wife was drowning. Maybe if I'd paid more attention, asked more questions, tried harder, maybe this wouldn't have happened. This isn't your fault. Maybe not. But it is not all yours either. I took a step back. The FBI is going to arrest you now. You'll probably face charges: fraud, conspiracy, theft. You'll go to trial. I know. But Victoria, I am going to do something for you. For Emma and Sophie, really. I am going to hire you the best defense attorney in New York. I am going to make sure you get a fair deal. And I am going to make sure our daughters know that their mother made mistakes. But she is not a monster. Fresh tears spilled down her cheeks. Why would you do that? Because despite everything, you gave me 15 years. Some of them were lies, but some of them were real, and you gave me the two most precious things in my life. That has to count for something. Mark, Agent Chen opened the door. Time's up. As they led Victoria away in handcuffs, she looked back at me one last time. I did love you, she said. I still do. That was never a lie. And then she was gone. 3 days later, I sat in Agent Chen's office drinking terrible FBI coffee while she briefed me on the full scope of the investigation. Julian Cross was hired by someone, she said, sliding a file across the desk. We're still trying to identify the client, but we did find this. I opened the file. Inside was a photograph from 12 years ago. Robert Ashford, Victoria's father, standing with another man. Older, gray hair, expensive suit. I recognized him immediately. That is Richard Brennan, I said, my blood going cold. CEO of Brennan Industries, one of my biggest competitors. Correct. We believe Brennan hired Julian Cross to destroy you by using Victoria's desire for revenge. Brennan knew about her father, knew about the connection to you, and he weaponized it. So this was never just about Victoria's revenge. It was corporate sabotage, with a very personal twist. Chen closed the file. We're building a case against Brennan now. But it is going to take time. And Victoria, the U.S. attorney, is offering a deal. Cooperation in the Brennan case in exchange for reduced charges. She is looking at 3 to 5 years instead of 20. With her testimony, we can take down Brennan and expose an entire network of corporate espionage. What does she say? She wants to talk to you first, before she accepts the deal. The federal holding facility in Brooklyn was not designed for comfort. Gray walls, fluorescent lights, the smell of industrial cleaner, and despair. Victoria looked smaller somehow, wearing an orange jumpsuit. No makeup, her hair pulled back in a simple ponytail. She looked like a different person. Maybe that was because she was. Mark, she stood when I entered the visiting room. You came. Of course I came. We sat down across from each other. A table between us, so much more than a table between us. The girls, she said immediately. How are they? Confused, angry, scared. I told them you are helping the FBI with an investigation, that you are doing something brave. They don't need to know the details. Not yet. Thank you. Her eyes filled with tears, for protecting them from this. They're my daughters too, and despite everything, they love you. I won't take that away from them. She wiped her eyes. Agent Chen said there is a deal on the table. There is. You testify against Brennan, cooperate fully, and you get 3 to 5 years. You could be out in 2 with good behavior. And you, what do you think I should do? I leaned back, studying her. I think you should take the deal, not for me, not for revenge against Brennan, but for Emma and Sophie. They need their mother. Even if she is not perfect, I destroyed your life. You tried. But here is what you didn't count on. I've been building things from ruins since I was 22. This is just another challenge. Another problem to solve. Whitfield Industries will survive. I'll survive, and eventually, maybe we all heal. How can you not hate me? Oh, I do hate you. Part of me, at least. The part that trusted you completely. The part that thought our marriage was real. That part hates you with a passion I didn't know I was capable of. She flinched. But, I continued, there is another part. The part that remembers 15 years of moments. Some fake, but some real. The part that remembers watching you bring our daughters into this world. The part that knows you are not evil, you are just broken, and broken people sometimes do terrible things. I don't deserve your compassion. Probably not. But I am not doing this for you. I am doing it for them. And maybe a little bit for me. Because if I let hate consume me, then Brennan wins. Julian wins. Everyone who wanted to destroy me wins. Victoria reached across the table, then hesitated. Can I? I extended my hand. She took it, her fingers cold and shaking. Take the deal, I said. Testify. Put Brennan away. Serve your time, and when you get out, be the mother Emma and Sophie deserve. That is how you make this right. Not with apologies or tears, but with action. And us. Is there any chance? Number the word was final. Absolute. We're done, Victoria. When you get out, we'll be divorced. You'll have supervised visitation with the girls until they're 18. After that, it is up to them. She nodded, fresh tears falling. I understand. But I added, I won't poison them against you. I won't tell them everything. I'll let them remember the good parts. Let them love the mother they knew. That is the best I can offer. It is more than I deserve. Yea, it is. I stood to leave. She stood too. Mark, one more thing. What? I did love you. That wasn't part of the plan. That wasn't Julian's manipulation. That was real. Maybe not at first, but somewhere along the way, it became the truest thing in my life. I need you to know that. I looked at her for a long moment, trying to decide if I believed her. Finally, I said, it doesn't matter if it was real or not. What matters is what you did with it. And you chose revenge over love. You chose lies over truth. You chose Julian over your family. I know. Good luck, Victoria. I hope you find whatever you are looking for, but you won't find it with me. I walked out without looking back. 6 months later, the courtroom was packed. Press, lawyers, FBI agents, corporate rivals who wanted to see blood. Richard Brennan sat at the defense table, his expensive suit doing nothing to hide the sweat on his forehead. Victoria sat in the witness box, her voice steady as she recounted everything. The recruitment by Julian Cross. The plan to destroy Whitfield Industries. Brennan's involvement, his financing, his orchestration. She didn't hold back, didn't protect anyone. When it was over, the judge looked at Brennan with contempt. Mr. Brennan, corporate espionage is not a game. It is a crime. And using someone's personal trauma as a weapon is particularly despicable. I am sentencing you to 15 years in federal prison. No parole. Brennan's face went white. His lawyers immediately started talking about appeals. But it was over. He knew it. We all knew it. Then it was Victoria's turn. Mrs. Whitfield, the judge said, you've cooperated fully with the government. You've shown remorse, and you've taken responsibility for your actions. That counts for something. Victoria stood, her hands shaking. I am sentencing you to 3 years in federal prison, followed by 5 years of supervised probation. You will be eligible for parole after 18 months. Victoria closed her eyes, relief washing over her face. As they led her away, she looked at me one last time. I didn't smile, didn't wave, just gave her a single nod acknowledgement. Not forgiveness, but acknowledgement. That would have to be enough. 2 years later, The prison visit. I'd been to see Victoria 3 times in 2 years. Once when she asked to sign divorce papers, once when Emma begged me to take her for Mother's Day, and once when Sophie graduated middle school and wanted to tell her mother about it. Each visit was the same. Victoria looked thinner, older, haunted. Prison was not kind to women like her. But there was something else too, something I hadn't expected. Peace. "Thank you for coming," she said when I sat down across from her. "I know you don't have to. The girls asked me to check on you. Emma's worried you are not eating enough." A small smile. "Emma always worries. She gets that from you." "Does she hate me?" She is confused, hurt, angry sometimes, but she doesn't hate you. Neither does Sophie. And you. I considered the question. I don't hate you anymore. Hate takes energy I don't have. Mostly I just feel sad. Sad about what we could have been if you'd been honest from the start. Men too. We sat in silence for a moment. "Mark, can I ask you something?" "Sure." "Do you ever think about what Julian said? About being hired by Brennan? About the whole affair being fake? What about it? Do you think he was telling the truth? Or do you think maybe he was lying to hurt me, to make me feel like everything was meaningless?" I thought about that a lot. Does it matter? To me it does, because if it was real, if Julian actually cared about me, then at least I wasn't completely fooled. At least some part of what I felt was mutual. Victoria, even if it was real, he threatened our daughters. He blackmailed you. He was willing to destroy you to get what he wanted. That is not love. I know. But there is no but. Love doesn't manipulate, doesn't threaten, doesn't destroy. What you and Julian had was obsession, or convenience, or mutual self-destruction. But it wasn't love. She looked down at her hands. Then I guess I don't know what love is. Maybe not. But you have time to figure it out. A lot of time. Mark. Yay. When I get out, will you let me see the girls? Really see them, not just supervised visits. I thought about Emma and Sophie, about how they'd grown in the past 2 years. Emma was 15 now, tall and confident, already thinking about colleges. Sophie was quieter, more introspective, but brilliant in her own way. They both asked about their mother, not often, but enough that I knew they hadn't given up on her. "If you prove you can be trusted," I said finally. "If you get out and stay clean, no more lies, no more schemes, no more bullshit. If you can do that for 1 year, then yes, you can see them, really see them. Thank you. Don't thank me. Thank them. They're the ones who haven't given up on you." Present day. 3 years after arrest, I stood on a dock in the Florida Keys, watching the sun set over water so clear you could see straight to the bottom. Emma and Sophie were inside the beach house we'd rented for the week, arguing about what to watch on Netflix. Normal teenage stuff. Normal family vacation. No FBI. No corporate espionage. No mob connections or double lives. Just us. My phone rang. Agent Chen. "Chen, long time. Mr. Whitfield. I wanted to give you a heads up. Victoria's being released next week. She got early parole for good behavior." My chest tightened. "Okay, she is asked to see the girls. I told her she needed your permission first. I know, we talked about it." And I watched the sun paint the sky in shades of gold and pink, thought about how much had changed in 3 years, how much healing had happened, how much was still needed. "Tell her she can come to the house next month. Supervised visit. 1 hour. If it goes well, we'll talk about more. You are a good man. Marcus Whitfield." I am just a father who doesn't want his daughters to grow up with more trauma than they already have. Still, it is generous. After she hung up, I stood there for a long time, watching the waves. Victoria was getting out, starting over, building a new life. And so was I. Whitfield Industries was stronger than ever. We'd weathered the storm, cleared our name, and grown by 40% in 3 years. Derek had been promoted to president. I'd stepped back to chairman, focusing more on innovation than daily operations. And the girls. The girls were thriving. They didn't know all the details, didn't need to. They knew their mother had made mistakes, knew she'd been in prison, knew there were consequences for bad choices. But they also knew she loved them, that she was trying to be better. That was enough. Dad, Sophie called from the house. Emma's being impossible. Tell her we're not watching another true crime documentary. I smiled and headed inside. Because this normal, messy, beautiful chaos, this was real. And after 3 years of lies, deception, and betrayal, real was exactly what I needed. The coffee shop was neutral territory, not too close to my office. Not anywhere. Victoria and I had history. She sat across from me, wearing jeans and a simple sweater. No makeup, no pretense. Just a woman who'd served her time and was trying to build something new. "The girls are doing great," I said. "Emma got into Stanford early admission. Sophie's thinking about Columbia." Victoria's face lit up. "Really? That is incredible. They worked hard. You should be proud." "I am, Mark. I thank you for letting me back into their lives. I know it wasn't easy, it wasn't, but it was right." We sipped our coffee in comfortable silence. "What about you?" she asked. "Are you seeing anyone? That is none of your business." "You are right. Sorry, old habits." "But yes," I said. "I am seeing someone. Her name is Diana. She is a professor at NYU. We've been dating for 6 months. It is nice, simple, honest. I am happy for you." And the strange thing was, I believed her. "What about you? Any plans?" "I am working at a nonprofit, helping women transitioning out of prison. It is not glamorous, but it is real. It matters. That is good." "Mark." She looked at me with clear eyes. No tears, no manipulation, just honesty. "I know I can never fix what I broke. I know sorry doesn't even begin to cover it, but I want you to know that those 3 years in prison, they changed me. They made me face who I really was, and I didn't like what I saw. And now I am trying to be someone different, someone better. Not for you, not even for the girls, really. For me, because I am tired of being the person who destroys things." I nodded. "Good, because the girls need you, not the old you, the new you. I know." I finished my coffee and stood. "I need to get back to work." "Of course." Stood too. Samey time next month. We'd been doing this for a year. Monthly coffee, talking about the girls. Making sure we were on the same page. Same time. As I turned to leave, she called out, "Mark." "Yay. Thank you. For giving me a second chance, not with you, but with them. It is more than I deserved." I looked at her, really looked at her. And I saw something I hadn't seen in the courtroom or the prison visits. Genuine remorse, genuine change. "Maybe," I said, "but it is not about what you deserve. It is about what they need. And they need their mother, even if she is not perfect." I walked out into the Manhattan sunshine, leaving behind the ghost of who we used to be. Because the truth is, some marriages don't survive betrayal. Some trust, once broken, can never be rebuilt. But some families, if they work hard enough, if they're honest enough, can find a new kind of normal. Not the same, never the same, but real and sustainable. And maybe that was enough.